And we're talking about massive transformation here, cultural transformation of your customers' businesses for your own business to actually be successful, really.
Yes.
So how do you go about helping those said companies to actually transform their environment and integrate your technology?
Well, basically, I would say two parts of the success formula so far have been, firstly, to take them by the hand and not making huge, strategic stories, but just say, okay, let's look at what your supply chain looks today. Let's take 5 or 10 examples where you cannot provide service to your customers, where you cannot supply the parts. Let's fix that for you. So basically, you're literally showing them that it works. So that has been one success factor. Second one has basically been involving all the relevant stakeholders. So it's no longer a silo where you only deal with supply chain, but people from technology, from engineering, from quality, they're all involved. And I think making that happen, I think, has been instrumental to success.
Yeah, and I guess in our world we see this in what we call transformational leadership. So ultimately, can you change a traditional business model without changing, at the very least, the leadership style that guides that business through that change? It's almost impossible nowadays to think that you can be what you used to be and actually accommodate these new ideas and new concepts. But that takes a different mindset altogether.
It does. And the progressive companies, I think, and some of them we're working with today, they've managed to find a way to work, and that shows there is success.
Yeah, I think there's a big advantage with it as well, with this disruption, that there's so much talk about diversity, but if we think about diversity of thinking as a kind of paramount part of this is the opportunity to bring diversity of thinking and background and environment into businesses. Without
absolutely.
That disruption, you can't do it.
So accepting that, indeed, I think accepting that the way we did things was not necessarily wrong, but there is a better way to do it, and I think certainly with all the things that are happening in today's supply chains, the geopolitical tensions, the trade wars, if you want to mention them, even things like viruses like the corona thing today, I think, and the impact that has on supply chains, that basically forces people and encourages things to go much faster, and there are solutions today to fix it.
Yeah, and I guess touching on the impact of things like pandemics and the threats of that, do we see then that the traditional supply chain that exists today just simply now has to evolve? There has to be an alternative model to de-risk the current supply infrastructure that people have in place.
Absolutely. I think one of our clients, and I was on the phone with him yesterday, he literally said, well, as an example or an anecdote, we have been quite naive because we have a dual vendor strategy for supply of parts and components. But in this particular instance, the two dual vendors were in the same country, and from that country at the moment, there's no way that parts can be supplied. So that shows what the impact is. So people have to rethink supply chains.